My life was empty. It was almost meaningless.
It was empty.
There wasn't really any purpose to everything I was doing.
At the time, dated a lot of different really good-looking girls and thought that was what life was all about.
I just did drugs all the time.
I drank. I was addicted to pornography.
I was just on drugs.
Never really did the drug and alcohol route, but definitely wasn't a very honest person.
I guess I just lived for myself. I was selfish.
Didn't care about anybody but myself.
And it used to be all about me.
I dealt with a lot of guilt.
When you don't want to feel bad for the things you do, for me, the only thing that I could do was to just try and act like it didn't exist.
Like, I knew that there was stuff I was doing that was wrong, but I didn't have any way of knowing how to get forgiveness for it.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the whole God thing, and
I never understood that you needed to repent, you needed to turn away from your sin, not just apologize and then do it again the next weekend.
So many people of our generation don't understand God. They don't understand the gospel. There's so much misinformation out there on the university campus about what the Bible actually says or about the character of the Christian God.
Early in life, in the teenage years on up into the early 20s, most of the people who make a religious decision do it in those years.
This is the time in life when the biggest questions are being asked, like, is there a God? If there is a God, what does He want from me? What is the meaning of life? Why am I here?
And this is certainly a time when we need to be reaching them. And we haven't been doing that the way that we ought to.
There aren't many campus ministries in the grand scheme of things. I was converted through campus ministry, and to know that there are thousands of campuses that don't have a ministry on them is disturbing to me.
My life is like candy. It's hard sometimes, but it's real sweet.
I feel better about my life because I feel like it's going somewhere.
my life has purpose, it has meaning. I went from floating around in the world and thinking that everything was just random in the cosmos to really feeling like I had a purpose in life and a reason to be alive.
There's no more guilt to deal with. I mean, I still deal with that because we all have our weaknesses, but I know the solution now. I know that God's forgiven me, and so that's a much easier step now.
Now I have a huge burden taken off me because I know now when I mess up, I'm forgiven, and that no matter how alone I feel, there's always somewhere to turn.
Now that I'm a Christian, I love God. I want to serve God. I believe that I'm being called into the ministry, and I believe it is a calling, not a career.
Peter had to start somewhere. Paul had to start somewhere. All of the apostles had to start somewhere, and it started with a call.
It's important for me to be a ministry planner because I know that's where God is leading me. I know that you can do great work in these campus ministries. I know that you can affect people's lives.
And one of the key places we need to be planting evangelistic efforts is would be in the campuses of state-supported colleges and universities around the country.
You've been on these state campuses and you know what they're like, and you know how empty all these kids' lives are, how empty my life was before I found Christ. And there's just so much good that you can do there. There's so much need there.
More and more people are feeling that emptiness, and they're trying to shove drugs and sex and alcohol and everything that they can into that one spot that only God will fill. And more people are not hearing about God.
I think the question we need to ask ourselves is, what are we going to do about it? What's my role?
There's nothing like actually doing it. I mean, you can hear about it all you want, and you can hear people talk about it, but actually being a part of a one-on-one Bible study that leads someone to Christ, actually baptizing someone, actually seeing the before and after, and then living as their friend afterwards, that fires you up in a way that you can't even imagine. So I would encourage anyone to just try being a part of it.
I want to be a part of that, and I want to do what Jesus did. I want to do what he did.